Hello everyone, welcome back to the Malbeefance channel. This is turn 36 of our series replay for Strategic Command World War One. If you've been following along, then you pretty much know where we're at in the grand scheme of things. For those of you that may be new or just catching bits and pieces, let me zoom out here. So Russia has been defeated. They have surrendered. The Russian Empire has broken up a lot of the states all along the western border that were conquests of the Russian Empire. They've broken away. Specifically, Ukraine. What makes that particularly important for me is I'm playing the Central Powers, and by having this large garrison out here near Warsaw, it's basically a security force so that we're getting a lot of supplies coming in from the Ukraine to help us out. And so these guys are just like the folks that are making sure no bandits or anybody interferes. So the naval war has kind of calmed down. Um, I think I've done enough damage to the combined British and French fleets that I'm not going to see large deployments into the North Sea anymore. So I don't have to worry about any kind of amphibious operations along the German coast. My submarines have made it out into the Atlantic, and they are interdicting uh, Canadian, UK convoys. I'm not interdicting US to British convoys because I don't want to drive up, I don't want to speed up US entry into the war. And I have been using a few of my submarines to hunt down some dreadnoughts that I have encountered along the way. On the Western Front, things have pretty much been back and forth. Um, the French and German forces continue to trade Liege, and this hex here in the Ardennes Forest. I am attempting to take Verdun, but there is still enough pushback along the Belgian part of the Western Front that I haven't been able to concentrate the necessary artillery fire that I need in order to break through Verdun. Okay, so ultimately the goal is, let me hide the units here. The goal is to take Verdun and work my way down the front, work my way south, okay, taking Nancy, Epinal, Belfort, and then ultimately Toul. If I'm able to muster enough in Air Force and artillery, I will push into these hexes here in a bid to threaten Brussels, threaten liberating Brussels. Not a lot has been happening in the Alpine front, the Italian front. We have been trading Trento back and forth a couple of times these last couple of turns. Hopefully that'll stabilize now that I have more Austrian forces on their way to the front, on their way to this particular front. And we will start putting pressure on the Italians on the eastern side here, over by Udine and Padua and Venice. Now, meanwhile, things are finally starting to finish up here in Serbia. I really haven't put a lot of focus on it until like the last handful of turns, simply because Russia was the Russian front was the primary target. Okay, and we were able to knock Russia out of the war before Romania entered. There is still a threat of Romania entering the war, but it has been reduced. So I will have enough time to go ahead and finish operations in the Balkans, taking Serbia and knocking Greece out of the war before Romania joins. So I really don't have to worry about garrisoning the border too much. Okay. In the Mediterranean, Again, the naval battle has calmed down a bit. I've taken losses among the Austro-Hungarian fleet and some losses to the Ottoman fleet, nowhere near the amount of pain that we have brought to the French and Italian fleets, but they outnumber us considerably, so maybe the naval balance of power is a little bit more even in the Mediterranean. I still believe that it leans towards the Entente side, but the position is a little bit better, I think, for the Central Powers combined Mediterranean fleet. To the point where technology is advanced, where I can go ahead and I can get two amphibious units out on the water, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to land on Crete and hopefully take the island, and that is going to facilitate moving forces into Srinaika through Benghazi so that we can go ahead and we can threaten British forces in Egypt from both east and west. All right, so enough with the strategic overview. Let's go ahead and jump into the turn. Let me refocus on the Western Front here and advance the turn. See what we get. So once again, we have supposedly liberated Belgium. Really, all we've done is liberate Liege. Greek forces mobilized to defend Athens because of Austro-Hungarian troops getting so close to Larissa. And there is our usual report about blockade efforts between Scotland and Norway. In a national referendum, Australia votes against conscription. So I guess they shouldn't have made that promise. At least not yet, anyway. The German flying ace Oswald Bulk is killed in a mid-air collision. So that actually did happen. German scientists report ground attack weapons at 100%. So we now have ground attack weapons level 1 for the Germans. German scientists report infantry warfare development as at 99%. Ah! Goal in inches. Germany develops industrial technology level 3. Mo money. Austrian scientists report progress in trench warfare up to 81%. That's for level 5. And Austrian scientists report progress logistics development up to 40% for the current level. Ottoman scientists report ground attack weapons up to 44%, while the Ottomans develop industrial technology level 3. Again, more money. Here's our ledger. Oh, excuse me. Here's our ledger for the upcoming turn. And the computer is calculating supply for the Entente side. Italy forms the Czechoslovak Volunteer Corps. That is a scripted event that will happen after a certain amount of time. And so here comes the counterattack on my convoy interdiction. All right, so some repositioning along the along the Greek and Alpine fronts. All right, some naval movement. That destroyer had no idea that dreadnought was there. All right, I was hoping something like that would happen. That they lost sight of my submarines and then moved in and got intercepted. So now that British dreadnought is down to 1 point, I'm going to have to hunt him down. Hopefully I can finish him off. That'll be a huge morale drop for the UK. And that's kind of what I'm focusing on. I want to wipe out UK units where I can in order to drive down their morale. If I can knock them out of the war, that'll be 2 major powers out of the war, and that will result in a Central Powers major victory. So while I was talking, you've got the air war going on over the two western fronts. Now the artillery, French artillery in its usual locations, trying to push me back from Verdun and out of Belgium. Oh, I think they're going to get it. Yep, they got him. My painfully suffering Libyan rebels. Oh, those poor guys. But hey, they're hanging on. All right, so yep, they advanced somebody. So that gives us another French infantry corps we can chew up. Now, I haven't sat down and done the math. I haven't looked at the exact number of points in morale that are lost when a infantry unit is wiped out. And the reason that I bring it up is that the French have been wiping out German infantry corps, and the Germans have been wiping out French infantry corps, and it's entirely possible that the morale loss on both sides is kind of evening out because you have morale gain and you have morale loss. I'm sure that the morale gain is not equal to the morale loss, but the morale loss between both sides losing may even out. Okay, so Italy gets success with Romania in diplomacy up 12%. Excuse me. Report of our efforts to blockade Entente supplies. The usual interdiction report for the North Sea. Woodrow Wilson is reelected President of the United States. Historical event, this was a mixed bag. Like him or not, Woodrow Wilson was both good and detrimental to the United States. Um, I mean, I won't get into all of the details, but it was pretty bad because he did initiate a lot of socialist programs in the United States that the United States is paying for dearly here in the 2020s. But he also did not allow the United States to go into the League of Nations because the League of Nations was already turning into a good old boy club for the European powers. And that's not what he wanted. He wanted a more UN style thing before its time. So, German 14th Reserve Corps destroyed. Activity summary for the end of the turn. So yeah, so America not joining the League of Nations, depending on who you're talking to, they'll tell you that America not joining the League of Nations was the death of the League of Nations. It made it dead on arrival. All right, so here's all those infantry corps that we reconstituted last turn, or excuse me, a couple of turns ago. So let's get them out. All right, third Austrian artillery. Okay, so that is it for reinforcements. Let's go ahead and start with the naval war. Now let me check supply on my submarines. So it looks like most of them are down to 7. He's he's still at 8. Awesome. All right, so they can hang out a little bit longer. The only thing is though he's taken damage. He's down to 6 strength, and he wound up not being able to do any damage to that destroyer, any additional damage. So because he is damaged, I'm going to go ahead and start heading him home. Now, we encountered a French seaplane tender out here somewhere. Doesn't look like he stayed nearby. So we're going to keep our interdiction effort going. Now, there we go. So unfortunately, they launched an attack, so we weren't able to, but we didn't do any damage. So he's down to 5 supplies, so I'm going to start heading him home. And there we go. That sinks the Revenge. That is a huge victory. So again, now he's down to 4 supply. So again, we're going to start getting him home. He's down to 6. Just do a little scouting real quick. All right, so I was hoping I'd find that seaplane tender, but or seaplane carrier, but it didn't happen. Now I've got him in a position where hopefully, if these guys move down the line, one of them may accidentally encounter him and he'll do some damage. All right, so the submarines that I upgraded last turn, so they're all of them aren't done yet. One guy still has elite reinforcements that he can get. And then we can go ahead and we can start moving the fleet to get them, finish getting them upgraded. Oops. All right, so that port's going to open up. I just want to get him a little bit more further in so that I can move that dreadnought its full movement. I mean, yeah, I can go ahead and I can do naval cruise, but I'm not going to be doing anything with the high seas fleet right now. I mean, once I get them refit and get them out here, we'll go ahead hunting in the North Sea again. But for right now, let me give them a break. They've done great this game, so okay. So I didn't lose any hexes in the north here. So I'm going to take that opportunity to go ahead and upgrade my artillery. And also go ahead and do some more upgrading and reinforcing of the Air Force. Now I know I can upgrade his for ground attack, but he's all the way down on 5 half strength, so I want to get that fixed first. Now, can we get that hex back pretty easy? Kinda, sorta. I'd really rather not use the artillery. I'd rather build them back up. So let's do it this way. This way we can see what's behind him. Let the railguns attack. All right, so 1 to 3, 2 to 3, 2 to 3. So he's got the best odds. And he did way better than anticipated. So he got 4 and did not take any damage. So we'll go 1 to 1 there. So he can move up. And just to be on the safe side, I mean, I know that the artwork for the trenches are still there, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to go ahead and have him entrench just to be on the safe side. See if I can operate him. Yes, I can. Excellent. All right. So now it's November 18th. I'm anticipating that next turn, regardless of weather, there's going to be a massive, massive push on the part of the French and British forces. Their usual big winter offensive. So I'm going to do what I can to get reinforced here, get as much of a strong defensive position as I can to weather out those offensives. Do as much upgrading as I can, as much reinforcing as I can. Looks like the Zeppelins have a upgrade. Awesome. Finish bringing up the last of the Eastern Front forces. Now, let's go ahead and upgrade him before I move him. At least that way one of my scouts will be upgraded. Uh, okay. Alright, so that's it for moving up German forces. Now, fighting down here on the Alps. So I can swap him out and reinforce him. So his readiness and morale is not bad. They're right there, almost just a hair below 100. So they're in good shape. So that means I can go ahead and I can reinforce everybody else. Now, I'm not going to swap him out for a stronger unit because I'm actually using him as bait at this point. I want them to attack this unit so that they're expending effort attacking this unit instead of attacking Trento. That'll give, or not attacking Trento with as many units as they would have had. So that way the guys here in Trento have got some time to go ahead and get better readiness and better morale. Dig in a little deeper, if you will. Okay, now, so I got 3 whole corps facing the Italian 13th Corps defending U9. And it looks like we got a good chance of knocking them out of there without any additional support. So let's go ahead and start with the attack from the north. Oh, and he wound up doing 6. Awesome. 2 to 4, 1 to 4. So now the thing is, though, attacking with him, I can't move him in there and then, what's the word I'm looking for? Entrench. So now, bringing him up will use all of his movement, and he can't get there unless he force marches, and even then he probably wouldn't be able to do it because the hex is not already occupied. So we'll move up the regiment-sized unit and hope that he can weather the counterattack that is going to come. All right. So now what can we do? 1 to 3. Instead of doing that, I'll just go ahead and entrench him, give him a better defensive position. Get the infantry corps-sized units closer to the front. Can he reinforce? Yes, he can. Can I operate him? No, I can't. All right, let's get him out of there. Start heading him over to Poland, so that'll free up one of my cavalry units over there. Okay, so that looks like that's going to do it for this particular area. upgrade and reinforce Austrian subs. All right. So let's see what we can do here in Serbia. So now I've cut off supplies coming in from Salonika. That's a big help. And I've actually isolated Salonika now. After what happened with Peck, I'm not going to take a chance of leaving Kavala unguarded. So it's bad enough I'm leaving the Dardanelles open like I am, but at least Gallipoli is has got defenders. All right, so I'm kind of jumping over all over the board here. Sorry about that. All right, so we've got Salonika isolated. And that gives us Corfu. Have any of you folks been to Corfu? I've been there. Beautiful island. Beautiful. So, the United States Navy took me there on one of our Mediterranean trips. Beautiful island. It's like walking back in time to the medieval ages. All right, so how do we want to do this? Do I leave them here? Do I go after the city here? Actually, there we go. I can do both at the same time. Awesome. Let's advance. So that way we can kind of lock him in place. Let's see what we can do here in the south. All right. So there's a chance here to go ahead and split the Balkan Entente forces into 3 groups. Whoops. Oh no, he can't entrench. Oops. That's okay. Bring the artillery up so that we will be in a position to go after Peck next turn. This gives me the chance to both reinforce and upgrade those 2 units respectively. That way we're guarding the roads. And guarding all those ports. These guys are also sitting here in anticipation of when I make my amphibious assault onto the boot. And I mentioned it a couple of turns ago that I was still trying to figure out exactly how I wanted to attack. And I've pretty much decided what I'm going to do is a combination where first I'm going to land down here in the south, and I'm going to secure the ports at Brindisi and Taranto. So that way we've got supplies coming in. We'll go ahead and we'll do that first. Then the follow-up is going to be pushing down into Sicily, and then also landing at Ancona, assuming I can get that pre-dreadnought out of there, and cut across the peninsula to go ahead and cut off Rome from the forces in the north. All right, so our northern artillery unit is not in position yet. Is there anything else that we might be able to do to help the situation? So we got an opportunity to do some damage to Pristina. Let's go ahead and take that. You never know, we might be able to carry the city this turn without the artillery support. And there it is. One more national morale objective down. I shouldn't have done that. I should have tried moving him in there, so that way he'd have been in position to attack those guys. Oh, my mistake. All right, so maybe we can clear him out. Yes. And that also gets them enough experience to where they can get their elite reinforcement next turn. Anything else we might be able to do? All right, doesn't look like it, so let's just go ahead and reinforce him. Let me move him out of the way. So now the artillery is moved up. Yeah, reinforce him. Swap those guys out. That way he'll be able to get his elite reinforcements next turn. All right. Get him a little closer to the front line. He'll be able to scout out more. And it looks like that's going to be it for the Balkans. All right, so I'm going to have to move my naval forces around a little bit because I mean, the computer knows where they all are, but in game terms, a couple of these guys have been spotted. So let's go ahead and do this. Get them surrounded. All right, so I'm going to hold him in reserve for any opportunities that may come up. And so finally, the sandstorm is done. Awesome. Oh, he's only got one shot. Let's get him out of there. Not a lot we can do there. I'm guessing that they've got some pretty heavy. Yep, they got level 5 entrenchment. So yeah, so that's going to be a tough nut to crack. I got to wait until I get the artillery and those spotters that I've got on the way. So with that being the case, let's go ahead and get some more of the regiment-sized units out of the way and move the cavalry up. And then what I'm going to do is start working these units back to the Levant ports. So I'll go ahead and I'll leave 4 or 5 infantry corps down here along with the cavalry, at least one of them. And then I'll take the rest of these guys and I'll try, once we've got Crete, I'll try and get them to Benghazi. And I'll use this headquarters unit because he's got a good rating. I'll use that headquarters unit for over here. My poor put upon guerrillas. I can't swap these guys out. They don't have enough movement for me to be able to get here and have him get to Benghazi so that Benghazi is still garrisoned. If I go ahead and I abandon Benghazi, trust me, one of these units will move in there in a second. All right, so let me zoom out, see if there's anything that I've missed. So we did the submarine battles, got all of the fronts, got everybody from over here to over here, over there. All right, so with the money that we got left, the Germans have still got core they need to reconstitute, but I don't have enough money to do it unless I do not upgrade their weapons. So let me at least that gets him in the pipeline. We'll upgrade him when he gets there, when he gets deployed. Other than artillery, because I would like another artillery piece for the Austrians, but other than that, they pretty much got all the military forces that they really need. I mean, yeah, I could use some more fighter squadrons. I could use some more scouts. So let's go ahead and do that. I'll get another recon bomber coming. So that's 2 in the pipeline now. And what do we got coming for the Ottomans? We got fighter squadron, bomber or scout squadron, scout/bomber squadron, and a submarine. So again, they need more artillery. So again, I can do research for them. So since they've got fighters coming, so they are working on long-range aircraft, and I can spend some more money on it in order to speed things up. So let's go ahead and do that. I'll hit both of these. There we go. All right, so they only got space for 10 more points, and the lowest on here is 40, so that's not going to work. So do they have any chits left? Yes, they've got 1 left. Let me go ahead and put, well, no, let's put it in Switzerland, so that way all of their chits are in one spot. And then I got to remember the remaining Austrian chits. I think I would need to put those into Romania. And the remaining German ones, as much as I would like to put them into Switzerland, I'm going to have to put them into the Netherlands. So got to remember to do that next turn. All right, so that is going to do it for this turn. I thank you very much for tuning in. If you've been following along the entire series, thank you very much. I appreciate your watching and supporting us that way. If you have not already done so, please leave a like on this video. It helps, as I've been learning YouTube, likes help with the search algorithm. Just what happens to pop up in people's feeds. If you're interested in gaming, then the more likes this video gets, the better there's a chance that it'll pop up in the feed of somebody that likes gaming, just in case you guys didn't know how that worked. Because, I mean, I'm learning all of this stuff as I go. Believe me, I am far from a YouTube expert. So yeah, I mean, I'm still trying to figure out how to edit these videos so that I can go ahead and cut out a lot of the quiet zones and exceedingly dull sections of the videos. I'm still working on learning that. So yeah, so if you would, please leave a like. If you have not already, if you've been following the series, please, by all means, go ahead and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. That way, whenever I put out a video, you'll know that it's out there. Now, I have been putting out a lot more videos these last couple of weeks. I've been able to, thanks to the lousy weather. I've been getting more time. Haven't been able to get errands done. A couple of days off from work. So I don't know how long that's going to last. Hopefully, I'll still, at worst, hopefully I'll still be able to get 2 videos out a week. We'll see. And if you have not already voted on a follow-up game, That post is still out there. Go ahead and cast your vote. Right now, the odds-on favor for Strategic Command American Civil War. So every when I'm not doing these videos, when I do have some spare time, and I should be doing these videos, instead I'm trying to get caught up on Strategic Command American Civil War. I haven't played it all that much. I've only got about, I think, maybe 120, 125 hours into it. So I'm not really familiar with it. So I have been playing it again, working both sides just so that I can become familiar with the game and not make too many rookie mistakes. Okay. There will be rookie mistakes if I do a series replay, but hopefully they won't be that bad. So, all right. So that's enough for now. Thank you very much again, and I'll see you on the next one.